as a weakness. Seeing how they match up, I think that we just overhyped Crawford, and I think Canelo is going to beat him up.
Why do you think he's overhyped?
The recent win against Spence, but it was mostly because people just hated Spence. It wasn't based on anything Terrence Crawford did.
And I mean, the performance he put on was amazing.
Was it the performance that could possibly lead to him beating somebody like Canelo, who's had multiple great performances, as opposed to one, maybe two? To be honest, he might just be a nobody if he loses, just like Errol Spence was. I kind of feel bad for him now that we set it up, but he still can cancel.
Terrence Crawford and Canelo.
I don't think that should happen. Look, I like Crawford, and I think Canelo is a beast that way. Honestly, I would advise Crawford not.
What do you think of Crawford Canelo? There's a lot of talk about that.
I think Canelo wipes the floor with him. I love Crawford. I told you when Crawford and Spence that Crawford would beat the hell out of him, but Canelo is a different proposition.
A good little man has never beaten a good big.
Terrence Crawford isn't just chasing greatness. He's sprinting toward the most dangerous challenge of his career after cleaning out the welterweight division and dismantling Errol Spence Jr. Bud now wants Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
How is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Yeah, I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outside.
I don't think so. I think that it's much too much weight for Terrence. You know, the style was difficult, and you know, people will say it was a poor performance from Terrence, but let's just say it was a great performance from Madrimov. You know, I think 168 is much too big for Terrence. But like he said,
say like, no, that's two more weight classes. Like once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down. You know, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets.
That's not just a jump. That's a leap into the lion's den. Canelo's no ordinary champion. He's a 4-division world title holder. He stood toe-to-toe with Golovkin, crushed Caleb Plant, and stopped
Crawford. His composure going to be like the moment a punch lands on him from Canelo.
Are you kidding me? Take that question back.
Yeah, why?
Because you're talking about Crawford.
Yeah.
He's
the weight classes.
He's the most composed guy. Yeah. What, you don't think he'll be prepared? You think it'll be a shock to him? No. He's already moved up 3 weight classes. So now you're talking 6 if you add on 3. Crawford has the ability to slow things down in the ring that very few people have. And to see things.
Crawford, what do you think?
That's going to be a great fight, too. I can't believe they made that happen. Turkey's been making a lot of great fights happen. You can't really hate on it. But I'm excited for that. I know Canelo is so big, so strong, and I think he'll be just too big. I mean, weight classes matter for a reason.
Last question before you get out of here.
Listen, we can have the skills and everything, but jumping that much like that, jumping like that much, getting hit, I don't think Crawford's ever fought a fighter that's hit him directly, just straight, constantly in the arms. And it's not because they can't, they don't think that way.
Appreciate you.
Gotta clear it out, guys. Remember, this man's been pro since what, 14?
15.
Kovalev, and he's done it against bigger, stronger men. Can Crawford hang with that kind of firepower? Some say yes. Teddy Atlas swears by Bud's IQ and timing.
He's got to give a lot of weight away, Crawford, but he could give Canelo a real problem now because Canelo was getting caught.
Watching that, do you think Crawford might be, perhaps licking his lips isn't the right word?
Well, I'm sure he was. He was sitting ringside. He was sitting a couple of seats away from me ringside. You could see he liked it. No schmuck. He knows his boxing. And the other thing is, you've got to look at, was his name Madrimov, who he fought. Also gave him a tough fight for a guy who only had 12 fights. So it's going to be a very, very interesting fight.
A good little man has never beaten a good big man in the history of the game. Unless you go back to certain situations with Pacquiao beat me, but I was a dead man walking anyway. But a good little man never beats a good big man, so it's a tough test for Crawford, but I'm not counting him out. The bottom line, and this is the truth again, it's a money grab.
Kovalev was older, and he does, don't get me wrong, he does have a lot of power. But all those guys that you name is not as skillful as me. I'm sorry. No disrespect to none of those fighters. The skill level is night and day.
So how do you see a fight with Canelo go?
Tough fight. Canelo is a great fighter. Like, I always had respect for Canelo, but I just believe in my skills. The fact that people doubt me, it just fueled me even more.
Shakur Stevenson says his movement and precision can cause serious problems, but most, they're warning him off. Amir Khan knows the risk. He tried it and got laid out. Eddie Hearn thinks Crawford's just too small. And Ryan Garcia, he calls it a bad idea.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now.
Biggest question to me, how will the 12-pound difference be for Terence Crawford? It's going to be his first fight at 168. For Canelo, this is the weight class that he always fights at, no problem. But I'm really curious on how Terence Crawford is going to be able to adjust to this, and if it's going to be advantage or disadvantage.
No Triple G on Bud's resume. There's no Trout on Bud's resume. There's no Daniel Jacobs on Bud's resume. Canelo is the one that's fought the elite level opposition. It's Canelo that fought Laura. There is no Laura on Bud's resume. There is no Laura on Bud's resume. Bud has never faced a multiple division champ. Bud has never faced a multiple division champ.
Yeah, but Bud is an elite boxer.
So you're an elite boxer, but you haven't fought a...
Even Charlo, an undisputed champ, couldn't survive at 168. He got walked down and broken by the pressure. So what's really at stake here? It's not just another belt, it's legacy.
Man, it's a great fight for boxing. I know people don't agree with it, but if Canelo fights one inkling of the wrong fight, he gonna lose. If he comes out and fights the right fight, it's gonna be a tough one. So right now, I think it go be either way, but it depends on what type of fight Canelo fights.
You've been a guy that's in the weight class. How do you think Terence Crawford should handle a weight? Should he come in lighter? Should he come right around the weight limit?
Come in as big as he can get. If he get to the weight limit, because there is a weight limit.
All the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that.
It's a ridiculous fight myself. I think that Crawford is too small. Canelo is, in my opinion, the face of boxing right now. I think that look at his resume. I think it's a good fight for a little while. Crawford's hand speed will, just like when Golovkin fought Kell Brook, the hand speed was evident at the beginning of the fight. But as the fight goes on, Canelo's going to start pounding on him, and I think that the fight ends somewhere between the 9th.
Risk versus reward at the highest level, and maybe, just maybe, a shot at boxing immortality. Can Crawford rewrite history, or will Canelo remind him and all of us why weight classes exist?
Hit me like, all right, man, maybe he on to something. You know, and then I started sizing him up, and I'm like, all right, well, Canelo 5'7", you know, my arm's longer.
Yeah.
He's strong, I'm strong.
Right.
You know, it'd be, to me, skill for skill.
Right.
You know, because Canelo not the biggest 168 fighter. So, I don't gotta stop him. I just gotta beat him. I'm not going in there looking to knock Canelo out. Could it happen? Yes, absolutely. You know, when I look at Canelo, he's a smaller, bigger guy moving up in divisions. You know, being that these big guys is slower, so they might catch him with something, but he might see it at the last moment. You know, they might catch him.
I see Canelo winning, and I'm not, you know, I don't know Canelo very well. I'll say hi to him if I see him. He'll say hi to me too, but we're not friends. You know, I could probably say I've spent more time with Crawford, so I would love to see Crawford pull it off. I would be more happy to see Crawford win, you know, because I know him better. I
feel like, I think Bud could beat Canelo. Would you like to see that fight? Would I like to see it? Yeah, I would like to see it. Just because I know, like, I don't think that like I said, I've been saying this. I don't think size win fights. I think skills do. So, I don't know who else probably will listen to me, but I think like Bud, stylistically. Now I don't think like, I think like being a southpaw with good movement and sharp box.
Drop your predictions in the comments. Who wins, skills or size? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. This is one for the ages, and you won't want to miss it.